Lent. The first Sunday was last week, and the church read for us the Gospel of the Treasures. We call it the Sunday of the Treasures. Simply, the church is trying to ask us the most important question in the beginning of the Lent, asking us, where do we invest our time on earth? Where do we invest our treasure in? Once we make the right decision and we start to invest in heaven, and we start to invest where it matters the most, we keep our treasure in heaven. Comes the second Sunday of the Lent, and the church reads for us the gospel where Jesus Christ was tempted by the devil after he fasted for 40 days. Jesus fasted for 40 days, and then after that, finally he got hungry. He was hungry. And as we know, the devil tempted him with three different temptations. The first one, he asked him, because he was hungry, he asked him to tell the stone to become bread so he can satisfy his hunger, so he can start eating. And Jesus answered him, a man shall not live, or shall live not only by bread, but by every word that proceeds from the mouth of the Lord. The devil took him on a high place, on the pinnacle of the temple in the city, and asked him to throw himself down, and because God said he will send his angel to protect him, and he will not dash his feet with a stone. But the devil was not really saying the verse correctly. He was just, as usual, not telling the truth again, twisting, manipulating things. And Jesus told him, do not tempt the Lord your God. And then the last trial was, the devil showed him all the kingdom of the earth at one moment, and told him, I will give you all this if you bow down and worship me. And again, the devil never gives anything, because he doesn't have anything to give. He doesn't have anything to offer. It's all a lie. Today we will just focus on the first temptation, the first trial, the first temptation, when he told Jesus, command the stone to be bread so you can eat. The devil is referred to in the Bible today as the tempter, the one who tempts. And he came to him and he said, if you are the Son of God, if you are the Son of God, command that these stones become bread. And there's 2 points out of this statement we will discuss today. The first, he told him, he come to him when he was hungry. And when we're hungry, we need to eat. Sometimes when you need something so bad, we can do things that's not right. He told him to command the stone to become bread. Sometimes he does the same thing with us. When he knows that we're hungry for something, we're missing something in our life, whatever that thing is, he asks us to act as if the stone was bread and use it as bread to satisfy our hunger. The problem with that is we can act as if the stone was the bread and try to use it, but what happens if we use the stone as bread? It will not satisfy us. He tricks us by making us living in a world of his own creation, telling us that this is what you need. Like an example, when we are in need of love or acceptance from others and we can't find it, we go seek stones, expecting these stones to satisfy and to fulfill the need for love. It's a trick. The problem is we might knock on many doors asking for love, but these doors will not give us anything but stones. Sometimes we pretend that these stones are good and are satisfying and are filling and meeting our needs for the real bread. But after some time, we keep looking. If it was really satisfying, then why do we keep looking for other things to satisfy us? It is not. That's a famous trick. He always presents stones to us as bread, or ask us to consider it as bread, to pretend that this stone is bread, and to use it instead of the real bread. The stone might fulfill the need, but remember, it's only a temporary. After that, let's say that we feel we are in need to do something fun, and we want to do something that something new. The devil sometimes, the first thing that we can do when we want to do something fun is we reach for our phones or just go log online and just try to surf the internet for whatever news, something fun, just to watch a video or a funny clip or something. And we spend that much time on the phone. But then we've all faced this. After we're done, maybe we were having fun, we were fulfilled for a minute, and then after some time, when we're done, we throw the phone away. I'm sick of it. It didn't do it. And then I look around, I want to do something else. That's just a simple example of what he tries with us. And by the way, remember, you don't have to be doing anything wrong on your phone. The fact that you're wasting your time is what he wants us to do all the time, to waste the time. Because if we don't use the time to glorify his name, or to invest on our relationship with him, to invest on that treasure that we agreed on last week, we want to increase that treasure in heaven, then that treasure is not there. You don't really have a relationship with God. Our relationship with him is just a surface, but nothing in depth. Stones do not satisfy hunger. Stones might look good sometimes, but they don't satisfy hunger. The other part of the sentence was at the beginning of the sentence when he asked him, if you were or if you are the Son of God. In this specific case, he wasn't sure of Christ, if Christ was the Son of God or no, of Jesus, if Jesus was the Son of God or no. That's why he started his sentence with this. But sometimes he used the same sentence with us. He used the same sentence with us, asking us, if you are the Son of God, do this, or ask God to give you that. The whole sentence is incorrect. I cannot use if. I cannot use if. If I know it is a fact, and I know it is a fact, then I cannot use the word if. If means there is a possibility it might be or might not be, right? So the whole sentence is phrased incorrectly. And he tricks us by doing this. He comes to us and he asks us, if you are the Son of God, if you were the daughter of God, tell him to, or ask him to remove this problem from your life. And if he doesn't respond, that means he doesn't really love you, or you're not really his child. Sometimes this war is very vicious because it is logical and it makes sense. If I am the daughter or the son of God and He allows too many problems to happen in my life, or that one big problem that's happening in my life, then, and I pray for him and he's not allowing this problem to be taken care of as I see it, then why isn't he doing anything for me? Two things. Remember this. When you have a baby, a young boy or a girl, you need to take them to the doctor's office to give them the shots, right? The mother carries the baby to the doctor's office, and they're having fun, and the baby is smiling, and then she gives it to the nurse or to the physician, and then the doctor, little poke, and then the baby, after he was smiling and laughing and having a good time, all of a sudden they start to cry. And they look at their mother or father, and they're asking, like this look on their face, why did you let that happen to me? Same thing happened with us. God allow things that look bad happen in our life. But trust me, it's not as bad as it might seem. On the contrary, if this problem didn't happen in your life, you probably would not have practiced your faith in a practical way. Let's say one of those problems that we have a difficult kid, a really difficult kid, or a difficult father or a mother, and they're always very difficult with us. And we're trying to deal with them, but they're not listening. There is two ways of handling this problem. Either we accept it and keep praying about it and wait for the Lord to make the change, or reject it and be rebellious and say, He's not really taking care of me or doing anything to deal with this problem, and I don't want Him to be my God anymore. I'm not His son or His daughter. And that leads to despair, to an area I want to keep aside for now. But the first scenario, if we practice the first scenario, if we decide that we will pray about this problem in our life and keep praying about it until something happens, and then something happened, and then you see that there is a change and God actually did make things much better for you. Then, after the problem is over, you will continue praying to God. You will not stop praying because you experienced how good prayer is. Now, if we did not have this problem, most likely we would not have prayed that continuously and that long hours for God to take care of this problem. The thing is, after the problem, check your spiritual muscles before and after the problem. Most likely your spiritual muscles are much more stronger after a very difficult problem that you go through. If you are the Son of God, ask Him to do that for you. A smart person, a person with close relationship to God, a strong faith, would answer and say this: I know I am the Son of God. I know I am His child. I don't need anything to prove to me that He is my Father and taking care of me. He is my Father regardless. I might not see the way He's taking care of me, but I know for sure that He is taking care of me. This is what would a smart person that know God and how He works would answer the devil in this war. Another one who doesn't have really strong relationship with God, he would start to question things, and nothing wrong to question things with God. You can question all what you want, but don't lose your faith. Because the moment we lose our faith with God, remember what happened with Judas. Despair is the most difficult enemy that we can face. Despair leads to destruction. So how can we treat this? How can we treat this? I'm not going to use stones as bread. But what can I replace a stone with? What can I use? I'll give you examples of what I'm trying to say about the stones and bread so it's more clear the message I'm trying to say. Some of us say, if only my wife is more quiet in the house, we will have peace and we will not have fights all the time. Another example. A woman would say, if my husband is more understanding in the house, is more kind to me, we will not have that many problems around the house. If my father or mother are more understanding and give me my freedom in the house, that will be much more, life will be much more fun. If only my child would listen and just understand that I'm trying to take care of them, they would be a good child and we will have no problem in the house. These are examples of stones that looks like bread, that we're trying to use them. Remember this, it takes two to start a problem or to create a problem. If someone it takes two to cause a problem. Two people have to be participating. The first example of this husband that's saying, if only my wife is quiet in the house will have peace. That means the house have problems, right? And that means when his wife is not quiet, he talks and she talks and he talks. And you see what I'm saying? It took two of them to start on the problem to work and to cause the problem. But if she's the kind that talks and not quiet, and he's the kind that listens and acknowledges the problem, most of the time when women talk, they have something to say. And most of the time, all men what need to do is just to listen. And trust me, this is not so difficult. Just listen to what they have to say. Sometimes just too much until you find what the problem is. And I mean, the introduction is too long, and sometimes you get lost what the woman, what is she trying to say? I don't get it. Just listen to the end. Don't interrupt her. Most likely, even if she doesn't want to say anything, the fact that you listened, you saved your time from going through a problem. But if you're too tired or too frustrated to listen to anything and start to talk back or lash back by a comment or wave your hand in her face, this is when the problems start to happen. The same thing when a kid talk about their parents, they're so controlling, they don't love me, they just want to control and want to be in control of my life because I don't have my freedom. If you think about it, what kind of control they have on your life, you will understand later on that this is for your own good. If they give you all the freedom you want, this is another example of stone that we use considering it as bread. And then after we have freedom, we come back like this wasn't fun. The freedom that I was looking for was not really helpful. It might be actually very dangerous at this age. When I need something, I know that I am his child. This is a fact. I know that I have a relationship with him. I will stand before him and I will pray to him to help me go through what I want. He might do two things, either remove the problem from our life or help us to get through it. When someone departs to heaven, the family is usually in sadness and grieving them. But I have experienced this many times. When the family comes and attend the prayer of the church and they pay attention to the prayers that the church pray and they pray for them, I mean the family pray for the departed person, they start to feel comfort. I've seen, this is something you can experience or take it as exercise. Look at their faces if someone departs. Look at their family faces before and after the church prayers. I have seen wonders. I have seen someone coming with sadness and leaving the church feeling comforted, feeling that he's in a better place. Only God can do this. No one else on this world. And death is the worst thing that we can go through. When we lose one of our close people, this is the worst thing that we can go through because there is no coming back from death. unless it's a miracle, of course. But and you feel like I'm not gonna see this person again, and you feel like heart grief. 2 weeks ago, we lost one of our friends in North Carolina. He's a young man in low college, car accident, and he went to heaven. A young man, a deacon, a very nice person, amazing voice, a person who brings joy to people around him. The whole church, the whole youth was devastated by his loss. It just happened. It just happened. His time was over. God wanted to take him at this point. The youth group were in bad condition. This kid helped a lot of kids around him and pushed them to succeed in their life. Some of them were just drug addicts, smokers. He was able to bring them around him, to move them to go to college and to study and to be successful. So they felt so like heartbroken when this happened. First day when I tried to contact them and try to comfort them with words, it didn't really work. Third day, after the church prayed on this departed young man, I see their pictures online and I see the smile on their faces, not because they're taking pictures, but they realize that he's in a better place. Only God can perform such comfort, can provide such comfort. Us, we can try, but only Him has the answers to all the problems. If you are the son of God, if you are the child of God, I'm not going to take this as if. I'm going to take this, I am a child of God. And He's taking care of me no matter what. This should be our faith. This should be the life that we're living with Him. When we have it as a fact in our life, build on that relationship, build on the connection between us and Him, we're investing in our treasures in heaven. And then when the time comes to go to depart, to make the last trip, we are ready to meet with the one that we've been waiting for Him all the time. May God give us wisdom and understanding to differentiate between real bread and stone, to understand that we are His daughters and sons. No matter what happened, He is always taking care of us. To Him is glory forever and ever. Amen.